his bachelor party is where I just came from in San Diego. Had to stop drinking at like 12 so I could go home and sleep. I still got to enjoy the time. Went home, slept for a couple hours, woke up, went to the airport, caught the flight here at like 6 a.m. And then now, we're going to go speak at Josh Pettigrew's Entrepreneurship Event. And where I was before that, I was back out here again because I messed up my flights. And I was too cheap to just schedule them all around. So I was like, well, I thought the event was on Friday, and the only reason I remember it wasn't on Friday is because Jake texted me like, hey, bro, so these are the dates. I was like, no, these are the dates. You're like, no, it's wrong. I was like, fuck. And so I had to switch things up, and so I ended up flying into Salt Lake on Thursday for no reason, but I just got to spend some time with my family. And then Thursday morning at like 8 a.m., I flew out to San Diego anyways. And so I spent like I think I spent like 20 hours in San Diego. And then now I'm here. That's where we've been.
What about Josh's event?
Oh. Overcoming failures and obstacles and using them to your benefit. And I'll just talk about my entire life really has been just failure after failure after failure after failure. Obstacle after obstacle after obstacle. But you really, only way you lose is if you quit is what I truly think. But a lot of people quit. Everything else I speak at is just for my own stuff, right? It's like my events, my meetups. This is...
So the Henry Washington meetup, you didn't get paid for it, receive any kind of income from that?
Fuck no, we did it wrong with the sponsors. We will next time. Like, I guess we got paid, but like we ended up, I think we ended up altogether paying $1,200. This next time, the way we'll have our sponsorship shit set up, we'll each walk away with like a couple grand.
That's good.
Yeah, so it'll be a lot better. But if it's not, so for sure my brother's out here is like who we do the most stuff with. And then I'm trying to think. In Fresno, I guess it would be Kyle, but like we really don't do much, dude. Because Michael,
don't really do much.
Yeah, me and Kalani came up with an entire plan to make the Arizona Diamondbacks more appealing to all of the Latinos in the area.
I like the Diamondbacks.
The fact that he used that much fucking thought over that.
Who did?
Just a random guy who was at the bachelor party. You could say, like, yeah, like, the only reason I'm not a billionaire is because, like, I haven't sacrificed time with my family. Well, there's still dudes who have families who are billionaires. But at the same time, if you don't have a family and you're an entrepreneur, I think that there is nothing else pulling you away that you love more than your business. That's what I always tell people. So, like, as far as, Hormozy. I think Alex Hormozy is the god. But if it ever comes to family things or anything else, you take his advice with a grain of salt because he has no children. Right? Because now you don't have that thought in your head of, oh, am I fucking this kid up in the head? Am I not going to be there? Is he going to have daddy issues? Does he know I still love him? To where, like, if someone doesn't have kids, they can, to me personally, they can say, like, oh, well, I do all this stuff. I'm busy all the time still, blah, blah, blah.
And it's justified.
And it's justified, but there's still nothing, the only thing I can say, you still don't love anything else as much as your business baby. Like, we still have our wife, and our wife gets it, and they can understand, they know the dynamic, but the children don't get it, they just want us. So, like, for most people, I tell them, like, bro, just don't have kids for a while. Like, throw down, don't have kids, fucking push for 12 years, and you're good. But then, with the one, when you have kids, like, now I've just started taking Zeno with me everywhere. And it's just kind of how he's going to be moving forward.
That's good.
So he's just going to be a dad at work, be a dad in meetings. Like Ray Dalio. Ray Dalio's runs the largest hedge fund in the world, Bridgewater. And he took his kid to all of his meetings. Like when they were getting started out of the garage and everything. So, Ray Dalio can do it, I can do it.
Hell yeah.
But there's still sacrifices. So I already know Monday will be such a power, it'll be a power day. So I already told Kalani, I won't be home till 9. Like, I'm already anticipating it. Just because there's a bunch of shit that has to get oh man, there's a bunch of shit that has to get done because, like, again, I didn't work it all on Friday. There's always ebbs and flows. Sometimes it'll be slower, sometimes there's more. One of my mentors is like, bro, when you get into these like phases, just communicate with your family and let them know what's going on. Like, hey, we're about to go through like a really, like, it's a big push. We need to take advantage of this opportunity. I'm be a little bit busier than usual. But then again, at the same time, no one else has the opportunities for me to, like, in the middle of the day, take my son to a trampoline park because I feel like it. So it's those ebbs and flows and never compromising on your own personal core values of, like, so family always comes first, and that's why I'm always out here in Salt Lake all the time, because in all reality, I only have 20 more years with my parents. How often do I get to see my parents even in those 20 years? And then with Zeno, I only have Zeno for half of his life because he spends the other half with his mom. And then, really, after the age of 12, he doesn't even want to be with me anyways. So I really get like 6 years with my son altogether.
He might want to be with you, depending on what you deposit into him.
Nah, bro, he's a teenager. Go fuck girls and have fun.
Oh, dude.
You know what I'm saying?
That's what you want your son to do?
I feel like I may get some karma for the hell I put my parents through. But, like, generally, like, when you're 13, you want to spend time with your friends, is what I'm saying, right?
Yeah,
so, like,
true.
after, like, 13, like, you're independent. It's not as much, like, parent reliance. And then...
Yeah, there's not so much parent reliance when things are going well. But when things are going crap, that's where you find out how much you've deposited.
I mean, that's there, right? And but you're still not getting as much time with the kid.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
To where, like, every night, I'm with the kid.
Yeah.
Once they get into sports and they're hanging out with their friends and doing all that other stuff, they really aren't, like, kids aren't around after 12. Like, after 12, dude, I was busy every hour.
Yeah.
Either with friends or doing sports. And so keeping that in perspective and, like, seeing, like, the small, like, sliver of time I have with them is a really good way to check yourself.
So I told him, like, he was like, how much money worth of equipment do you have when you run a podcast? Calculating in my head is about $12,000 if I run your podcast, right?
Uh-huh.
And he's like, okay. He's like, and you pay me 10% of the job. He's like, did I ask you? He's like, that is the rate deal you came up with, which I came up with. And he goes, did I investigate and look into it? And I was like, no. He's like, no, because I trust you. He's like, and I don't really care either way. I have an answer. He was like, so where you're coming from is he was saying my approach was very individualistic. Like I didn't feel like he was for me or for my business. That's how I was addressing the conversation. He saw more as a teaching moment than really about the money.
Oh,
He was like, just find a rate and get back to me, and we'll talk about it from there. He's like, we haven't even decided on anything. Just find a rate. He's like, but you want to take the ball and go home.
I think taking your ball and going home is probably the smartest move over time. No?
Sure. Like, at what point do you decide to, like, stop leaning on somebody who's, like, really invested in you and do it on your own, but then that person wants you, for
Yeah, I mean,
whatever reason?
I wouldn't use them as a crutch, but I'd want to show them, like, and again, you have that open conversation, like, I want to be more independent, and sure, I can do it on my own, and thank you so much for the help and support, but, like, I'm trying to grow into what you saw I could grow into. Because that's what you're doing, bro. You're fucking growing like crazy.
Yeah, I think I made it emotional, right? You're right. I never approached it as like, I do want to be more independent. I was more thinking like, okay, how much free stuff can I use for and how long can I use it for?
Right,
that doesn't seem very mature-minded when it comes to business.
well, and, like, you don't want to be a mooch or anything else, and you've been given an amazing opportunity, like, with everything. I just phrase it with him better of tell him where you're coming from.
Yeah.
Because I think what you did was, like, the most respectful thing. I'm like, oh, yeah, fuck, you're right. We'll do this. And so now I just have my own equipment, and then if I do stuff on church time, I mean, do you have a bunch of free time over there?
No. I mean, if you want to consider the work that I do for my business free time, then yeah.
Oh.
I mean, because I work a lot. I do a lot more work for my business than I do for the church. Just the volume is more.
But, I mean, is there just not more to do for the church?
There could be. I mean, there could be. I could always find something to do, creative video projects to work on, stuff like that. So I guess right now, respectfully, I'm doing the, what we need in order to get by and continue to build our brand and stuff like that.
For the church, like you know what I'm saying? You owe him a lot more. Now that you're growing more and like you can, I just think your output could be more.
I'm how what?
Your output.
Yeah.
And then like you can try and your best way to like pour back into him for all the shit he's done for you over the years.
Chopping off his hand, hot like a stove with a pot of a pan. We taking over the land. I can come chop a few blocks up again. Nigga can't really come spin. I'm out of the way, but they pulling me in. I'm about to come at the sin. I took a little loss, now I'm here for the win. Niggas don't want me to win. I bought a new car, you can tell them it's up. No one wants some revenge. It's been hell chopper bullets, it's an AK in my hand. These boys a bunch of pussies, they no different than a trend.
Because I think this is the right spot.
What are you doing?
I don't know where to go. Hey, bro. Am I in the right fucking spot? Like, where do I go?
Hey, brother, turn around. It's behind. So, can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
So turn to your left and go down that, and you'll see that LaCrae place go in those double doors. Yeah, so keep walking. You'll see like a LaCrae.
Okay. The great facade all the time. Well, sorry, the persona.
Of?
I mean, these are the guru glasses, you know?
Uh-huh.
So I just leave them on the whole time.
I've always been a firm believer of the humble approach is the best approach.
But I'm your guru's guru, bro. Like, that's a completely different approach.
Okay, all right.
But I did it in the club the other day, and I couldn't see, and I dropped my drink. I'll take them off. Hey, bro. Good to see you. Thank you for having me, dude.
I just turned 25,
You're 20.
I think. 24.
You're like 23, bro. Because I'm 27.
Are you?
Yeah.
I don't know how old I would have been. Well, I guess I started buying the dealership when I was 24. It just took a really long time. I did not know how hard it was to buy an RV dealership. Like, we have a flooring line that we floor all of the inventory through, and like, that's a nightmare.
All right, bro.
Another event.
Hey, good to see you, buddy.
Even now, like with you being established,
yeah.
it still takes that long? Yeah.
Yeah, a couple of deals I've actually had owner financing, 0% interest.
And they're like, hell yeah.
Most
Finance that every time.
like probably 6. I only have 2 owner finances, 6 of them have been all cash.
Yeah, any of these guys are more than happy to help you.
So, like, what is, to get to $1 billion, are you taking it public? Are you selling it private equity? Like, what
No,
is...
that's a great one. I would really not like to go public.
I feel the same way about it, like, because it sounds miserable.
Because the problem is, so what's happening is fired their CEO because they're not growing fast enough. And so there's a huge race to acquire right now. Like RV retailers is a large one. They're going to buy 60 stores this year. They're going to buy 60 stores. And so everybody's trying to race to that. So if you're publicly traded, you're the first thing to sure.
Yeah, oh yeah. You have a boss.
I'd rather do it.
Okay, so everybody
And just keep the rev and fucking...
Make a couple $100 million a year. And
So, like, right now you're doing 130 in rev?
yeah.
Do you, so, like, what could you sell it at right now? Like, what does it sell at? Like, on EBITDA?
5 or 6 right now.
Okay,
I'm more of a bookend guy, you know?
okay,
Straight now?
okay, okay.
I don't know if the book anything.
Okay, 1, 2, 3.
Where'd you grow up, bro?
It's right here in Austin.
Really? Oh, yeah. Did you play sports at all?
Yeah. Football and basketball.
Did you go to Austin?
I went to Lincoln Christian Academy.
Oh, really?
So you know, what's his name? Malik Sawyer.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I grew up with them.
So I went to Snow with Malik.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So do you know, oh man, so my fiance's uncle is the AD at Snow.
Not anymore, bro. I mean, because I went right out of high school, like 17.
Oh, he's been the AD for 20
Really?
years.
Oh, shit.
And he just actually got let go. fired because of a bunch of kids claiming he was racist or something, and he got let go.
Really?
Yeah, he said for 20 years, no one said anything, and 2 kids that didn't make the team claimed that he
Like the first time, like I'm not joking.
was
I
whatever.
got
So
laid down.
Gary McKinsey. Gary McKinsey?
And then I got
he was
antibiotics.
But yeah, like
Now it's like
I knew
all
Malik.
this
I mean, I was playing football together. So
Yeah. And then I know only one of Mason Schlingy. He grew up in Ogden. Red-haired dude, long red hair.
I mean, I grew up in Ogden, but I went to
That's savage, bro. What were you? So wait, I'm mad I missed you.
It's okay. It wasn't anything like.
No, it was good. Crushed it.
So what were you doing? You're working at a cabinet shop. What, you get divorced at like 22, go through that, and then
Yeah, just right here, I was working at a cabinet shop. So I was it's my best friend. So thank God that I had a best friend.
Yeah.
who trusted me to do it. I didn't know what to do, and I didn't go to college, nothing. So I started working for him, being a project manager, because I could manage. I mean, I was in a network marketing company. I had like 5,000 people on my team. Was making
but yes,
money.
yeah.
And then all of a sudden they got sold, and I lost everything. And then we ended up, got divorced, and all this kind of stuff happened. And so, what do? Sold my house. Like I had money.
Yeah.
So but I knew I had to like
Put it to something.
Yeah.
So I'm like, hey, I'm not gonna just sit here and like not have a job and eat all my cash up and sell the house. So I had good equity in it and just put everything away. And then I ended up working for him, being a project manager from 9 to 5. And then I would literally build all the cabinets through the night, the kitchen. So like if we were to install a kitchen, on a Tuesday, on a Monday night, I could build the entire kitchen or a house if it was multiple bathrooms, whatever, in one night, and then load the truck up. And no one knew I was doing that because I felt like it was so.
The
You know?
ego.
Yeah, I'm
the
supposed
ego.
to be this. I mean, I've spoken at probably over 1,000 events. I've spoken at Vivid with 18,000 people. Like I've spoken in.
Yeah.
I'm supposed to be like up here, and now I'm freaking working at.
I know what that's like, dude.
It sucks, but I'm so glad it happened because it's kept me grounded.
Oh, yeah.
Like it's kept me in check with reality, So like that, because if I would have just kept killing it, like dude, I would have got lost in all kinds of different things, and like I would have not had the culture that I would have now.
Yeah. And so you have your own jet.
That's a Pilatus, but
Right. I mean, what is a Pilatus? Like a prop plane?
Yeah.
But I mean, it's worth it for like what you do. Like,
yeah, dude,
when does it make sense for you to buy a jet? With how much you travel? Or that's the first thing I thought about.
It's I don't know. I can buy one right now, but we're actually gonna buy one just to make money to charter it out.
And then you use it when you want.
Yeah, use it when I want to. But I can make a good amount of money chartering it out. And so if I could fly for free, I mean, I could fly 200, 300 hours a year, which is a lot. But I don't mind flying Delta. I'm a diamond on Delta and get first class every time, so I don't really mind it. I use the plane to just go to Oregon super easy. And like my Klamath Falls store is in the freaking middle of nowhere. Maybe have a little manager meeting for like 30 minutes, and it's pretty much say thank you, giving a family or someone good,
That's a
like a
good
family,
point.
good experience, and I get 2 people to do that, and then I go out there and say, hey man, thank you so much for, I heard you took care of this guy and did that. Like, here's $100.
Yeah.
And I'll get there. Like, just know that like that's why I'm there. I don't want to.
Yeah.
Well,
It doesn't
energy
need
is-
ass with me.
I mean,
Right.
energy is your currency, right? So in a lot of ways, it's like you're not wasting.
Jason's here for positive things.
Yeah.
And I do go and have certain conversations, but 99% of the time it's a culture thing. Like just having fun. Like it is hard to get looked at. Like my one in Price, dude, I haven't been there since July.
Yeah.
I'm going Monday. Which is I hate driving.
Yeah,
But
prices.
like me. So like if you need planes and a cheap way to do it, I know exactly how to do it super cheap.
Awesome.
Even if it's a Pilatus or even in a situation like I'm in, so I'm in a weird situation that where like I don't technically own the plane. I buy hours from a guy.
Yeah.
And it's cheap. Like my fuel cost to go to Oregon and back is $1,800. LA back $1,800. Vegas $500. St. George $300, $200 maybe.
That's
I mean,
so much
so-
nicer, especially if you're flying like multiple people, like where
Yeah,
we might go down.
So yesterday I flew 7 people, or 2 days ago, Wednesday. That's way people to time falls in.
Are you based in Utah?
Yeah.
Oh,
So my office is in Lake.
oh, you're in Layton. Oh, that's cool. Did you live here? Like,
Yeah, I live in Sarasota.
Yeah, so I grew up in Bluffdale, and then I ended up having a kid out in Fresno. And so now I stay out there. Then I'm out here like 6 months out of the year.
oh, really?
Yeah, but everything we do is virtual, so I'm technically based out of Utah.
I want to ask you what you do because I'm probably going to hear you speak about it.
We own like a virtual assistant company, and then wholesaling is the main thing, yeah.
Awesome. That's legit.
It's not.
This year.
This
Yeah.
is my video guy. I mean, social media makes us a lot of money too.
Yeah. That's
It is
actually
free.
something that's kind of funny is I met, well, you know Dan.
Think about Hormozy though. Hormozy just started fucking throwing
like
down
he
on
did,
it.
He told me, he's like, this will be your greatest branding asset that you own. And he's like, just build it organically. He's like, just push. And like last year, we did $600,000 in just like random sales from people just DMing me.
Really?
I only had 400 followers. And I was like, okay.
I
And now I caught the vision.
1,200 because of
Right.
Keaton. He posted about me and gave me like 200 followers. Yeah. But yeah, Dan was like, because we.
That kid thing at home.
Thank you.
Literally got
Anybody
like,
who's a parent
I started getting
knows,
choked up
dude.
and I was
Anybody
like,
who's a
I hate
parent
man.
knows.
I just had to think like the
One of those
worst.
things you got to blink away. You're sure.
Yeah.
Have you started traveling with your family? Like saying fuck it and
when
bring
I
them?
I did when I was doing the lawns. I had my first kid. I would travel with my family everywhere we went.
What
And
company?
at the time, it was Elite, which is an ADT dealer. So they would travel with me, and then when the second one came, my wife was just like, "I'm not doing that. I'm not going to go sit in an apartment while you're working
all day, yeah.
I'll stay here with my family and like friends." So, and that's when it broke my back, and I said I can't do it. So now I'm home 20. If I'm going to speak at like, if it's somewhere cool, like we went to Dubai, I took my wife, and we'll take like Hawaii, took my kids,
Yeah.
like, something like that. But if it's like locally, I'll need a week break from my kids. But like, it is not like that sounds stupid from what I just said, but like you need a break from the kids.
I think like the 2 to 3 hours thing is a legitimate amount of time because like you might pull your hair out and you want to work more. For me, like I can't like unwind for that long.
It's so hard.
I can't just stop for like 3 hours.
Yeah.
Then what the fuck else am I supposed to do with all this like energy?
Yeah. But what sleep when you die? Like work, and then I had an accident with my kid. I almost lost my kids, and I said, like, it's not the work's not worth it, right? So I can't stop working. I still need to do that, but what I can do is give them my full attention
When you're there.
When I'm there.
When
I'm
you're
not
there.
there that much, but when I'm there, they know that I'm not going to be that dad on the phone telling like, all right,
1 minute, honey.
like
1 minute, honey.
yeah, like what, Dad, look at this, and you're like, cool, and you're not really there. So
Yeah.
like now, like whatever it is, we're wrestling, we're watching video, whatever it is, I'm at least there, and I'm present when I'm
Yeah.
home, as opposed to like, yeah, I'm home, but you're never really there.
Yeah.
Right. So it also gives me a little peace of mind knowing that I'm gone so long, that when I'm there, I'm like physically present.
Absolutely.
You know? So I'm not so hard on myself when I'm gone 24/7.
Dude, I know that battle. I love that.
It's great, like, man, it's such a hard thing because it's such good money, but it taints your mind of like, and there's no real scale there necessarily.
No scale.
Like, I could always make $500,000 a summer, but I'd never make $100 million, you know, like,
Well, dude, it's weird when you step away, you don't realize how much that opportunity actually holds you back.
Yeah, it's hard though when you step away because you're used to that. Like all my team, I had hundreds of employees, and they would come to me after a year of like trying to do some business, and they'd be like, "I can't afford it. I got to go back and sell lunch," and they would just break. Every
Because they're not
summer,
used to
they'd
it.
break, and they would
Yeah.
go back and sell, and I'd be like, "Dude, you gotta stick.
Yeah.
You're not gonna make the $100,000 that you were making in the summer." Like they're all like, "I can't make 100."
Just
Nobody's
real quick,
making 100. You're all right. But like, thank God she wasn't just like, "What the fuck are you doing?"
Yeah.
Like, but it was 2 rough years of like trying to learn a trade.
Yeah.
A new skill, I think that's the hardest part. It's like new ball game, new completely different ball game.
Yeah,
No
sales, but
background.
it's way different.
Yeah.
Like you're watching. I didn't have a mentor. I had YouTube, and that
Yeah.
was it, right?
Yeah.
And then love. I mean, there's a lot of luck. People don't. I don't really like. People don't put. There's a lot of luck into success, whether you believe it or not.
I think especially with like
greatest thing Greg ever did was reach out to me, you know, and
Yeah.
I had the ability to help
To
him
fucking
out,
put him
but
on.
At the same time, he was ready.
Yeah.
When the time came and I said, I need this built, dude, grinded, and he was ready. So
But you were prepared for it.
I was
Right, and then you fucking
right?
delivered.
But who reaches out? Like, that's luck. There's a lot of luck in success. But if you're ready for it, you'll recognize it. It'll come more often if you're ready for it.
I love that, man.
What thing? That's wild.
On the acquisition?
Yeah, on the acquisition.
So they bought the book of business, and then
Is what I want because I know
Yeah.
e-commerce.
Yeah.
I just want to grow social.
just grow your personal brand.
It just gives me more leverage, right?
Yeah.
Over time, then eventually, if I push something, start my own brand, whatever I want to do.
Dude, the quickest, I mean, obviously with these guys, so decent power to all these guys. I watched them go from 0 followers. They get a TV show, now they got millions, but they also did a lot of stuff in between there that people don't really realize. At the beginning, they were running paid for followers, but that it was working so-so.
Right.
But then what they did is they leveraged large influencers, like Sparks leveraged the hell out of Andy Frisella, who had millions of followers.
Yeah.
And he's like, hey,
Did he just
I'm
keep
gonna
going on
build you a
Andy's
truck.
podcast?
I'm gonna build you a truck. And he's like, okay, cool, blah, 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 I'll do it. Built him a truck, took it to him. So obviously Andy's like gonna pay for this and long story short, but Andy wants content of that too, right?
Yeah.
So
that's
this is
yeah,
my
that's a
new
legit
truck.
crossover.
He paid for it, but Sparks built it for him, and then followers of like Andy. So he leverages other influencers better than most other influencers I've ever met. Like he'll make friends with Logan Paul.
Right. I mean, because they were out here the other day.
We just threw a party for him. We just threw a party, and Jake called Sparks. Was like, I want to do something wild. And Sparks was like, okay. He's like, I'll make the ultimate man day for your birthday. Just come out here. I'll take care of everything. Sparks paid for it all. There's probably, we had 4 helicopters. And Sparks paid for it all. It probably cost him 80 grand or so. But
That's well worth it.
But
That's well worth
that
it.
YouTube video, because he had his videographer there
Yeah.
all the time. He posts the video. That YouTube video's already got 4 million views, right? So he already made
Right.
his money
Yeah.
back 3-4 times off. So he's very good, and then he gets all their followers too, right? Because they post the video that. So he's very good at doing that side of things, of finding bigger influencers and leveraging them by like giving them something, and then they post him in it.
Yeah.
So there are a bunch of ways to go about it.
That's dope, dude.
So
Well, personal
education.
brand. So pushing the education, because education I think is like scalable. You're selling cars for nothing.
The education on YouTube right now is where it's all at.
And then like we have a wholesale company, then we have a virtual assistant outsourcing company with like 100 different people internally.
That's right.
So that's like our main things.
Super useful.
Super useful. I mean, I never thought I'd have an HR department. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't like that side of it. That's a pain in my ass.
But it is what it is. That's the nature of the beast, though.
It's the nature of the
That's
beast, dude.
Yeah, that's a casualty of.
For fun,
so
like-
I did. So I wanted to learn it, right? Because I'm not a finance guy. I never have been. I'm not good at it. I don't understand acquisition. So I wanted to learn it. So I left to partner with this fund, and then it didn't work out. Like I should have done due diligence on their P&Ls, and I didn't do that. And I took people at their word instead of. But who does that, right? Who says, I want to see your P&Ls that you really have that much money and that you're really that profitable before you make a decision to work with somebody? I didn't do that, and I should have. So it was a bad situation to where I realized I don't know if I want to do that. I definitely don't want to do it with them. So I'll just focus on my own shit, do my own brands, and then Greg's partner Tejas, who is the owner of VIA, he's like, dude, I'll start a fund. He's like, I'll fund
they
everything.
have,
He's
yeah.
like, I'll fund everything. If you
you
really
really
want
wanna
to
do it.
VC, he's like, I'll fund everything you want to do. They're ride or die with me. I've helped them out.
I mean,
a bunch.
but
They've
he
helped
said
me.
you're the reason they got
Yeah,
there.
but that's why he's like, whatever
Say
you
how
want
good
to
they
do,
are, and then we'll get you some more.
If I do decide then I'll do it with him.
Messy Ariel.
Yeah, that's a
So I
really
didn't
good
love
point. That's a really good point.
Especially when you're bringing in all the business, like they're all your friends who own e-com shops. And like,
Yeah, and you just get fucking plucked, and you pluck everyone apart. Yeah, that's wild. I could see that.
There's a lot of food to eat as much as
Now I know why you have a Tesla.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hoping to come here and see what I can do. Get my business take off.
What do you do?
E-commerce online.
Okay.
Swag and merchandise, clothes,
Swag.
models, all that good jazz.
What's the name of your brand? Is it like one?
Flip Sand. So the company's Flip Sand.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. How long have you been doing it?
Well, been doing it for a couple of years, but didn't start establishing myself till maybe a few months ago.
Okay. Yeah, that's hard.
It's been in the works for a couple of years, and I just didn't start really nailing into it.
Is it stuff like this, or is it streetwear?
Well, at the moment, I'm going to be like copying Hydro Flask, both a twist. It's going to be my own designs on the bottle. Pick and choose what you want.
Okay.
And if that does well, then I got a partner out in Sacramento who wants to do a clothing design. So work with them on like designing t-shirts, hats, all that good stuff.
Oh yeah.
So kind of just swag, merchandise, all in one.
That's dope as fuck,
So
dude.
like, companies like Brixton.
Yeah.
I really love them.
Okay. That's what you're saying.
Yeah. What's your motive?
We own a wholesaling company and a staffing company.
Okay.
So we wholesale houses, and then we have a staffing company that helps real estate investors.
Gotcha. Okay. Do you do a lot of wholesaling down here?
No, it's competitive as fuck out here.
Really?
Oh, dude. So I'd say Ogden's less competitive, but
Okay.
like wholesaling's super competitive, and then I don't know a lot of wholesalers who do more than like $4 million a year
Right.
in like recurring revenue.
Huh.
And it's not recurring revenue, and so like it's not
Right.
like you can do much bigger things with like e-com, software,
Yeah.
other businesses.
For sure. So, yeah, I've looked at wholesaling, but there's too many regulations here in place that
Don't be scared of the regulations.
really.
Excuse me. You're in the right fucking vehicle, bro.
Oh yeah.
With e-com. You're in the right fucking vehicle. I wouldn't even be worried. Where you live?
American Fork.
I grew up in Bluffdale.
Beat me by about half an hour.
Well, how old are you?
23.
Oh shit, you're young, bro.
Yeah.
I was like, maybe I'd fucking know somebody.
I mean, I got a handful of friends who are doing 9 to 5. I'm like, yeah, that's.
It's hard.
Yeah.
It's hard, dude.
Yeah.
It sucks.
Yeah.
What'd you do 9 to 5?
Well, 9 to 5 right now, just basic customer support, call center shit. So
Okay.
it at least, pays the basic needs, but eventually I can get the capital, get my business going here.
Oh yeah.
Find some investors who want to join in. Just go from there.
Because like that's what I did. Because I'll talk about it. Like I went dead broke. It was awful. If I would have had fucking cash in the bank,
Yeah.
my life would have been so much easier.
Right.
And then your business isn't feeding you and the business, it's only feeding the business, right?
Right.
Then you can reinvest all that
for
capital.
sure. I mean, that's probably the first thing that I noticed is like, fuck, I'm just spending money to make this money.
Right? I mean, like, because like now you have an actual business, we're fucking advertising all the
Right.
time, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
Yeah, it's to be a pain.
I mean, now I'm kind of established. I got a site that's in the works. I got some friends out there who already kind of teamed up with me to act as influencers, per se, to market this shit. So,
Oh yeah.
but in the beginning, it's like, holy shit, I got to think all this through.
You're 23, you're good. I started when I was 23, 24.
Okay, how old are you now?
27.
Okay.
Yeah, I just turned 27.
All right.
So yeah, you're going to kill it.
Yeah.
But I'll be one of your ambassadors for
Okay.
sure. I got to record something for him, and then I got to...
A lot of them. I mean, that seemed it's Greg's business. I mean, they're entrepreneur e-com, but that's how they all make their money.
Yeah.
A lot of them.
A lot of guys here are e-commerce.
Yeah.
This is like,
An e-commerce.
But I mean, that's like Josh's main thing,
it
though.
is it. Well, maybe it is.
It's like what Josh's main thing is e-com. All right, so what are my takeaways?
Yeah, take away so far.
It's hard not to feel like a piece of shit when there's a 28-year-old doing $130 million in recurring revenue and buying fucking facilities cash consistently. But then it just opens up your eyes, bro, of like all the shit that goes. And then with him, his parents were so exceptional, and you can, like, it shows. And the one thing I want to ask him was like, are your siblings like this? But like he talks about his parents a lot and how fucking savage they were, and like just instilling everything. So like how we talked about bringing Zeno everywhere. I need to do it more now, because then like you see that like directly to where like he had it all. And then Small World with Greg, he owns they just raised, they're now valued at $300 million, and they've been in business for 2 years.
2.5, yeah.
2.5 years, so $300 million in 2.5 years. Again, like I'm playing too small. I feel like I say this all the time. Playing way too small, and then, I don't know, it's motivating, dude. People doing dope ass shit. Thank you, buddy. All right, let's give my main man a round of applause real quick for bringing in these dope ass speakers. So this is my first actual speaking engagement that's not one of my own events. And I'll go over everything I've done. My name's Stratton Brown. We own a couple different companies. We do like $200,000 a month in recurring revenue. Nothing crazy. Some fun facts about me. I'm a degenerate. All right, I'm an entrepreneur. Last night, where was I? We were at the club partying. That's kind of what I signed up for. I have a family. What else do we have? I have a 4-year-old little boy. And I'm going to read off my notes, and I'll tell you the stories of where I've came from, and like how far I've come. And the one thing I want you guys to take away is like building off of your failures and failing more and failing faster. So like, nice. So if you look at the speakers who spoke before this, you may not know, but like they had massive failures and then it's bouncing back from the failures. And one thing, as you grow more and more in business, all you're doing is learning a new skill that you don't know yet, failing at that repetitively and implementing it over and over again. So I'll give you a little bit of background about what I've done, what I've accomplished. It's nothing crazy. Not your wholesome entrepreneur. Failure. All right, here we go. So we're in a couple different companies. We have over 100 employees in 7 different countries. I graduated. I live in one of the nicest areas in Fresno, California. Nothing amazing, but still nice. I run a meetup of 800 people. I bootstrapped all of my companies. I dropped out of college because I got a better job when I came home from trying out for the Seattle Seahawks. And instead of going to college, I couldn't bring my son with me. So they let me take my son to work, so I did that. Out of high school, I had a scholarship to 3 different sports: track, football, and rugby. Before that, I was on USA's junior national rugby team. What else do we have? And then before that, I was all-state and everything else. And I mean, I'm only reading those things just to like, okay, here's my bullshit little accomplishments. But I'm gonna tell you, I'll start back with like my first failure, and then bouncing back, and then bouncing back, and then bouncing back, and building again, and building again, and building again. So, and again, it's not just me swinging my dick around saying like, hey, look at me. Like, we're gonna go into the dark shit. So when I was 16, I was born on heroin. I was adopted at birth. Have amazing parents. I grew up in Bluffdale, Utah, and you guys know where that is. Most of you guys are from Salt Lake, right? So I grew up in Bluffdale, Utah, born on heroin, had an amazing life, and then around in high school, messing around, start playing sports again, and then I get in my head like, oh yeah, everyone's telling me you're going D1, you're going to the NFL, you're going to the NFL, you're going to the NFL. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go to the NFL. My junior year, I pull my hamstring and I pull my hip flexor. I proceed to have a mental breakdown because I lost all of the value in my life that I thought I was bringing to the world, and I tried to kill myself. That was the first like big failure, mental breakdown, having to bounce back, right? Massive mental breakdown, completely shit the bed. Then the next year, okay, I come back, I'm good, I'm all state, but then I snapped my ankle. Any of you guys know who Francis Bernard is? So we went to Harriman. He plays linebacker for the Cowboys. He's my best friend. My senior year, week 2 of football, I'm tackling him in the U Stadium, and I snapped my ankle in half, tackling him to win the game. I made the tackle, we won the game, but then I was out for the rest of the year, pretty much. So now I have like a couple games on tape, and it's me fucking gimping, right, with a swollen ass ankle. So I managed to still work hard. I have a rugby scholarship just because I was on USA's rugby team at that time, traveled to England with them. And then I had a track scholarship because I jumped really good before I got hurt. And then I went to Snow College. And then at Snow College, I made it there. I was okay, man, I'm a failure. I'm gonna start week fucking 1. I'm gonna go in, I'm gonna kill it. And then I fucking fail at that goal too. I don't hit it, and then I eventually have to keep working hard, and then I eventually do really well, and then I get a scholarship to the University of Utah, Fresno State. But then my apartment down at Snow College gets raided because we may or may not have been selling marijuana out of our apartment. All right, and so I was like, oh man, I better get the fuck out of here before something bad happens. So I take my scholarship to Fresno State. Utah wanted me to wait for another semester because they said my credits were untakeable because I was taking art class, a first aid class, and something else. Because like, man, I'm that fucking guy. Like I was betting on myself knowing I'm gonna go to D1, and I had the scholarship, and then they just wanted me late a little bit. So then from there, I proceed to go to Fresno State. I don't play for 3 years. I tear my knee twice. And then that whole time, I mean, you always have your mental struggles. Finally, my senior year, I'm going, we're doing all good. I'm starting, I was all conference, 17th in the country in tackles. And then I had a sports hernia to where my abductors, my hamstrings, and my abs all ripped off my pelvis. They're all gone. Like if you guys have kids who play sports, just make sure they're good. Like it's a pretty normal thing, you just don't know. And so that happens. Now, I think I'm going to the NFL, but I gotta go run after I got my entire inside sewn back onto me again. So I have 3 months to recover from that. So all right, now we gotta bounce back from this shitty ass failure. So now I go try out for Seattle. Nothing really works out. And then from there, I'm like, okay, well, at this point in time, my senior year, I said I'm a degenerate. I was partying a lot. I was like, well, I'm going to have I planned on making a lot of money, so I started reading a bunch of books like on investing and everything else. So I read a bunch of books, go to Seattle, it doesn't work out. They tell you, hey bro, you're slow and too skinny, fuck you, we aren't paying you any money, right? Now, I'm back home, I don't know what to do. I start a home inspection business. I do 3 months of training to do all that shit. And then from there, I do 1 mock inspection on the rental I was in, and I was like, fuck all of this. I'm not getting bitten by snakes, I hate spiders, I don't want to do any of this. So I got to restart again. And during that time, I was going to a bunch of meetups and these little real estate meetups, and I met a little short man who is a good friend of mine still, named Alan Folio. And he was like, 3 years ago, I was driving a tractor making 30 grand a year. Now I make $200,000 a month, and he starts showing me fucking checks. And he's like, Adam, I'm gonna buy a jet. I own 60 rentals, and I own an entire portfolio in Indiana. I was like, oh, wow. So I start working for him. And I was like, so like, how do you do this? And he told me, download this app and go knock all these doors of the people who are about to lose their house and see if they want to sell. At this point in time, I have my infant son on the way. His name is Zeno. My infant son's on the way. And so I leave my pregnant girlfriend from dusk till dawn with no job. We had a little bit of money in savings. And I knocked on doors consistently so much that she thought I was cheating on her. I was gone. Like I just wake up, leave, go door knock and come back. I mean, same thing, like when you have an obsession, you need to get there. It has to happen. So then from there, I finally get a deal. And then, okay, I end up working for him. We're doing really good. We start making a little bit of money. And then eventually, he had a heart attack and he was like 35. But he was super at it, and we decided to like split ways. I'm like, okay, hell yeah, I can finally start my own fucking business. From there, I proceed to go dead broke. Now it is me and my son. At the first month of me on my own thinking I'm gonna start my own business with no money, I have to sell all of my old Fresno State gear, all of it, just to pay my rent, and then I start donating plasma. So I do all this, pushing. We finally do another deal from, and I'd say August. So we do a deal in August, make a little bit of money. But before that, we moved out of our apartment. And so me and my roommate who played safety with me, we were like looking around for stuff. And we were just like looking around. I moved in with my girlfriend for a little bit. Now I haven't been with my son's mom for a long time. And then out of nowhere he says, hey bud, we moved in somewhere else and it renders me and my son homeless. So now I was like, oh fuck, now where am I gonna go? And that's a failure and obstacle. But then now I live with my girlfriend. It's been the best thing that's ever happened to me. And the trend of all of this is it all just compounds and creates another opportunity. Because like if I would have gone to the NFL, I wouldn't be in this room. I wouldn't be doing anything. I would have known shit. And I'd say the 2 biggest failures in my life, number 1, not making the NFL. But the biggest one is not being able to keep my family intact. So I'm not with my son's mom at all. I was a single dad for the first 2 years. The fact that I couldn't hold that together, massive blow. Sorry, I didn't think I was gonna get emotional talking about that shit. Where was that? So we're going from there. We start making money, but now I live with my girlfriend. And then, okay, I made like $30,000 on one house. So I was like, oh, I'm fucking rich. I'm gonna be a billionaire. And so I pretty much take all that money, spend it on education so I can learn a bunch more so I can go make some more money. And then from there, we start doing good, start doing a couple deals. And then, let's say a year later, I'm hiring on this one service. I hire on these guys. I met him at an event like this. And he was a dope guy. I went to dinner with him and his wife. And he fucked me over for like $6 grand. And I mean, still, $6 grand is $6 grand, and to me, it's principal. And I was like, oh my God, all right, this guy sucks. So this failure and obstacle, I take that, and there's a cold calling service of virtual assistants. So I bring all that in-house, and then that was one of the biggest failures and blessings to me, because then we turned that company into $1 million company over the next 18 months just from my social media account of me saying, hey, use us. Hey, use us. But that would have never happened if I didn't get screwed over at that point in time. And so my biggest thing is for you guys, I know it's not very long, but always bounce back from your failures, bounce back faster, and it's never, ever, ever, what's the word? It's never the end. Like you're always gonna bounce back. Everyone always has a low point. Every speaker here has had a low point. And I promise you there's gonna be even bigger ones. I know I'll be making $500 million a year and shit will hit the fucking fan. I'll hit a low point, but I gotta bounce back and I gotta bounce back faster so I can get to $1 billion. That's all I got, guys.
So real quick, if you guys have questions for Strat, definitely hit him up. If you do not have any questions, we're gonna do a quick 5-minute break to go to the bathroom, whatever you need to do, and then I'm gonna do panel Q&A. So we can just rapid fire questions to each individual of these guys if you've been thinking about something.
Operation, no, but then in all reality, I'm trying to do 130 million, get evaluated for 300 million. Can you do that in wholesaling? No. So, yeah, we still wholesale, but is it the main focus? No.
Everything's cash. So besides my inventory, I do for my inventory, it's like 3%, so I'm not do that.
Yeah, that's at the end.
Greg's capital thing, I mean, I have had people come off.
You're the most intentional person I've met as far as like the videos that you send people and like all that stuff, like that'll separate you 100%. Like, cause especially as you go and like you start talking to all these people, making all these introductions, if you set yourself apart, that'll leaps and bounds. Like a video, like I got a video from him on my birthday the other day. Like, I mean, like, you know what I'm saying? Like not very many people do that. You get a text. So I had a dude come up to me at one of our meetups and he was like, man, I've been working so hard and I've been studying for 8 hours a day. I was like, bro, what are you studying about? All you gotta do is go fucking talk on the phone. Like this is for wholesaling. Like all we do is talk on the phone and do sales. He's like, well, I don't want all these things to come up. I think the best way if you are gonna educate yourself is intentionally ask very, very specific questions. Right, so now I'm going out and I'm lighting the world on fire, like, oh shit, I got this problem. I call up Josh, hey Josh, I need help with this. Or I can go read a book on that. To where that's like the mix of intentionality instead of, oh yeah, I read 30 books a year, but then you can't apply it to anything because there's no work being done. And then you read past whatever situation you could have been in.
And I 100% agree with everything.
For me, I mean, comparison is always the thief of joy, right? But like imposter syndrome, you think I feel like an imposter up here with these savages? For sure. But I mean, again, I lean into his thing to where you're in the right room, you're in the right environment, like you're being pushed to do something, you're like, oh, do I deserve to be here? Like all those people are just pulling you up, like their energy's pulling you up. That's how, because that's really how you get there. But I've yet to meet anyone who's high level who does not feel it. And that's just the honest truth. There's so much to unpack in this one, honestly. One thing that really resonated with me with Andy Frisella, and I'll use an example from my real life. When my girlfriend was pregnant, I kept writing on a sticky note every day that I'm gonna buy a fourplex and putting it on the mirror. And she was so against it. She's like, you're never gonna fucking do it. Quit writing it down. So that's probably why that relationship didn't work. And Andy Frisella, I love this. He's like, you can't fight a battle at home and fight a battle in business, right? Because if you're going and you get your fucking ass beat every day, like in all reality, bro, in business, you're just getting slapped around. Then you go home and your wife is pissed, like, oh, you can't win. So I would not be able to do this without my girlfriend, but if my girlfriend wasn't on board, I would not be with her. In all reality, like that's kind of the line you have to have, especially when you get staff and then like you're responsible for 100 mouths to feed and you don't take care of that way. That goes for the spouse. As far as like the family and friends, masterminds for me have been amazing. As far as like making my new friends and then panel, like we'll be friends and one relationship will come from this, it'll be awesome, we'll get really close. That, and then you don't have to cut off the people really, really like mean and hard. And because I'm not friends really with anybody from high school or even like who I played football with. But the people who see what I'm doing and want help reach out to me. And then we can bring them up. I think like if the right people know, like if all your suppliers know, they want to help, dude. Like if the right people know, they want to help. As far as like social media and shit, if you want to do it, cool. I do think like your spouse should know, the employees should know. If you want to be super out there on your social media, cool. I mean, use it as a branding tactic. Like I try and be intentional with everything I do instead of just like posting it out and thinking about it. What is the reason I'm posting it out there and how we're going to turn this into like some marketing ploy, right? In that way. But I think either way you do it, as long as your circle knows, your employees know, and I really like the suppliers one. I get that and them too. After that, it's just up to you and if you want to use your actual social media to help you make more money. You need to, like, what is in it for them and how is your goal to help them reach their goal? It's like the biggest thing for everything, right? So when you're thinking about all your stuff, then you ask them like, well, what do you want to accomplish? And then you can create an incentive plan around it, and then that goal is more aligned. It creates a lot more buy-in. And then when you do it, like tell them like, no, I want to buy you a Ferrari. Like I want to make sure you can get a Ferrari. I want to make sure you can get all these things instead of just, hey, we're going to go to $1 billion and go to Turks and Caicos.
Yeah, open houses and stuff?
Yeah.
Okay, so I was asking Jason, but I don't think he really knows. So what is it like, so whenever you find like a house that looks like it's tore up and shit, and no owner, but you can sell it, like put the contract?
Yeah, wholesale.
Yeah, is that what you do?
Yeah. Okay. And we flip houses.
Okay, yeah, so my cousin, she was trying to tell me something about it, but I don't really know. What is the first step to even get into it?
Put in how to wholesale on YouTube. Legitimately, like bro, there's so much free shit out there.
Okay, I'm gonna check it out. Yeah, for sure.
There's so much free shit out there.
And she was telling me because so they live in Virginia, so she'll just find.
Like I have a friend who wholesales out there.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, like bro, it's a nationwide thing. It's a dude.
I have. What's your? Do you have IG?
Yeah, Strat Daddy. Yeah, bro. Huh?
So like, so I see you still end up like soaring shit in some places.
Oh yeah, dude.
So
Oh yeah.
tell me what you think.
Thank you. Can I take this on an airplane?
Yeah, you good. Yeah, that's just the muscle roller. So this what the label's supposed to look like, but they sent it. I don't know why that's what it's supposed to look like. Him good, but
Hell yeah, thank you.
That's what it's supposed to look like. So, but they fucked up on the labels, so I'm gonna send it back to him. But hell yeah, it's nice meeting you.
Nice meeting you too, bro. Thanks, bro.
Dude, so you were at Fresno, bro.
Yeah.
What position are you playing?
I played safety and
I
corner.
was gonna say you're DB for sure,
Yeah.
bro. Okay, and you come from Harriman?
No, I grew up in Bluffdale, and then so when Harriman got started, was our 27th.
Yeah, I was like, okay. So you didn't. Harriman started after that?
Harriman started my sophomore year in high school.
Okay.
So my best
And
friend
then-
Francis Bernard, he plays for the Cowboys now, but he went to Harriman,
Okay.
and I
But
stayed.
You finished up at Riverton.
Yeah, I finished at Riverton.
So then, let's see, how old would you have been when you started getting into all this real estate stuff? Sorry,
23.
I must have missed that. Okay.
Like 23.
23.
Yeah.
That puts things in perspective for me. That's how old I am right now. I'm like, dude,
Oh, you're good, bro. Just dive in.
I just need to get going with some stuff, dude. That's
But
I think.
are you thinking about e-com stuff right now too?
So not really e-com. So I'm thinking of. So I've been asking questions, but I have this product that I have an idea for. It's a B2B product that it would be for like workspaces and gyms and stuff like that. And so I'm just building it right now, just trying to create a mock-up product right now. So I'm just like trying to figure out like what the steps are like. Do I build the product first and then try to sell it, or do I see if people are interested in it and then build it? You know what I'm saying?
So like one thing you could do. Do you guys market a lot online?
What's that?
Do you guys do a lot of like Facebook ads?
No.
I don't know.
That's Van.
Yeah, so that's why I was listening
So
to
like,
I don't know about.
so one of my friends will legitimately run an ad of the product before it even exists and just see what happens.
Really?
Actually, I
Yeah.
can tell you about
And like just like and like see like what type of interaction we
that's
get.
the thing though is I'm like, well, like how do you advertise that though without having it built? You know what I mean? Like
Build it,
it's
like
a
build it
physical
exactly.
product.
I mean, so
So
build it
build the
exactly.
mock-up,
Yeah.
and then just start
Start running ads, and then if there's enough market, I mean that you're actually marketing for it.
Right.
And then if it's there, all right, fuck, get that bitch done and fucking
Dude,
send it to
that's-
them and
that's
send it
what
to
I'm
them for free.
Okay.
Right? Like, hey, we're testing this out. Thank you guys so much for participating. Here's the product for free.
And that's what I wanted to ask. Oh my gosh, why am I spacing on names right now?
Go ahead.
This gentleman right here.
Yeah.
That's why I was wondering about like his product. Like, how did he
His is a
first
stat.
sell it to Van? Right? Like to Van's company. Because like he didn't have it built out yet, right? So he's like,
No,
hey,
I think
have
he
this
did.
product.
You got to ask him, but he knew Van. That one's for sure, but I knew he had it built.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it was like built out enough where he could.
Enough.
Okay, gotcha. Because I'm like, my test, like, how do you do that lightly? You know what I mean?
What's the
So,
product? Like, what does it solve?
So basically, it solves for gym, like people waiting in line at gyms. You know what I'm saying? Like you're waiting for the squat rack or whatever. That's super annoying. So basically, it's just a built-out space where you can reserve times. And there's more details behind that. But basically, I took this idea where Qualtrics, the office that I'm working at right now, they have reservation rooms.
Uh-huh.
And I'm thinking of a way to make it like a portable, like pop-up, like gym within a gym. Kind of my idea.
I mean, I would just damn near create an app.
Yeah.
Fucking that you have a button that can scan it. and they can scan it and like, hey, when it's open, the person leaves, then you go.
Yeah, so there's already an app for that I'm thinking that I would implement in it. So like Zoom rooms is a thing where I think Zoom,
I think it's a good idea, bro. But just fucking go and implement it. Go find the fucking smallest gym. Like, hey, this is what I'm thinking about doing.
Yeah.
You want me to do it for you?
See if they can do a practice on me and just like, should I do it like for free for them?
Why not?
And say, how do you like it?
Yeah.
And then start charging?
I would.
That's kind of what I'm thinking of.
I mean, we started a social media company a while ago, and I ate like $10,000 a month for a couple months.
Okay.
Of just like testing it on our people.
But
like,
you had to, right?
But we had to. Then we got it dialed in, and then now we took it to market.
I just gotta get going, man.
Yeah, bro. Just take action and then pick one thing. They're like, don't fucking bounce and bounce and bounce. Just commit. Go. I mean, what's he been doing the last 4 years?
Yeah, RVs, bro.
But like, it's only been RVs. I've been doing RVs.
Right.
Then I've been doing this. Then I've been doing that.
And it ended up being an opportunity.
Straight line.
The guys from Ray City here.
And then there's no learning curves again, right? So if we're gonna jump from this to this to this, that's 4 different learning curves we have to overcome when that other person's been in that space for 10 years.
That's a really good
Right? Because our knowledge compounds exponentially over time. And then we can gain that advantage. That's what you really want to do.
office spaces and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, the marketplace is pretty wide. Like, it's not just one specific marketplace that could use it. So I'm like, okay, that checks out. I'm like, how do you first start selling it? And I guess you answer that question.
I'd go to someone like, hey, here's what we want it. You have a full business. Hey, this is what we're going to do for you. I'll do it for free.
That's what I'll have to do.
Sometimes piggyback from him, I'm doing an e-commerce store, which is swag and merchandise.
Okay.
We're now focusing on like replicating
But I would have kind of been
like custom graphics on the bottom. So we have a few prototypes that I've given out to a couple of friends and be like, hey, here's the bottle, use it for how long you want, just tell me what you think.
I'm glad it was RV.
Yeah, they've already come
Do you
back.
ask for anything in return, like marketing?
Never.
No, I don't.
I mean, they're doing you a favor.
True.
I mean,
they're testing out the product.
Yeah, they're testing out the product. Like, their feedback is like what we need. Right? Because like your product is always needs to be growing, and then you're gonna keep implementing things from that product, making it better, making it better, making it better. So like we have this software company. There's like 4 of the competitors, but the thing that separates them now is like, okay, our product needs to get better. Our product needs to get better. How does it get better? We get customer feedback. Oh, could you add this? We add that. We add more. We add more. We add more. We add more. Then we have a bigger offer stack.
Customer feedback's going to help you to close those gaps.
Well,
jump ahead.
I mean, because all marketplaces are competitive.
Yeah.
Like except like, let's say when Amazon happened, it wasn't competitive because they created their own blue ocean. They kind of blew it up, but there was still competition. But the more feedback we get, the better product we can make, the more we can charge. Or just the longer retention we get, the more money we make over time.
Good point. Cool. That's smart, man. Dude, I've learned so much just putting together like pieces. I think you just gotta start.
Just gotta start, dude.
You just gotta
start, dude.
I mean, your shoes, I don't know where to start, but I just went to Alibaba, got a manufacturer contract out with them, got some prototypes, gave it to some
Like what? I mean, that's what's happened up until this point in my life.
I just like the personal touch. I was like, I'm right here.
That is from start to finish since high school till now. That's it, in a nutshell. And some really late nights and sleeping in my truck sometimes and other shit. But like, the whole thing was like overcoming your obstacle consistently and bouncing back.
No, solid. Where are you going after this?
I don't know. I want to talk to these guys and then. Yeah, I'm done. After this, I'm free. I want to see that rolls before you leave. I think I'll go to Denver, yeah. They're wild. I didn't know his company was that fucking big. And like, so I know Halame. I've known Halame because I went to college with him.
Oh yeah? Yeah, I helped them. Like, I remember I sat on the calls because I swear to God, it was me and 4 of them. And we built this in their first round of funding. I took the phone calls because I knew their platform better than they knew. Because I was running all the campaigns and everything, and I built all the dynamic targeting and shit. So I would take the funding phone calls, and I remember when they raised their first 15 mil, I was like, this is cool, right? And then I remember when the series, when the seed round went, and then that Series A when they raised 51 at $360 million. And now I just took a phone call last week for the Series C that'll make them a big
Do you have shares in it then, I'm guessing?
Advisor shares.
Yeah.
So
now those are worth a decent amount of cash.
tried to, like, even the seed round, I was just like, here's all my money. And he's just like, no, $20,000 max. It's like, dude, no.
Right.
$20,000 max because there's a lot of you guys that have helped and, like, we can't. So I was only able to invest 20, and then I own 1% of the company. But I just wanted to get more. I wanted more, right? Because
Exactly.
I saw what
You
it
saw it, bro.
was, dude.
Yeah.
I saw it really early because I helped build it. And from a marketer's like standpoint, I knew it was needed.
Yeah.
So, but either way, it's been a fun ride for them. They grind, dude. They're hustlers. And it's been good to see. Like, they were in their basements when we started, and now they've got 6 offices. They've got massive buildings because they raised all this money. It's kind of fun to watch them.
And he said, bro, we got 80 million in the bank. We're gonna raise another 200 million, take 100 million each, and we're still fine.
Yeah, still.
Still fine.
They're really good with their money. Like the P&L, like they don't waste money on shit. They haven't been paid. When they raised their Series C was the first time that the Target Global was like, you guys have to take a salary. And they're like,
Well then.
You want to stand on the
You want
edge
me-
in the middle?
In the middle.
We gotta get a picture for this chick real quick.
Thank you. I'll let you get your picture.
We gotta get a picture of this chick real quick. I think his quads are about to rip out of his jeans.
His shirt's already real hard.
I mean, all right. I think he got the shirt tailored, just around the arm sleeve.
I need these black hiding.
I'm speaking today. Send it to the tailor, wrap it, make sure it's good.
This kind of like, I guess.
You know Tim Tebow?
I don't know
Oh,
him.
I was
We're
like-
speaking together.
Still, that's dope as fuck.
Yeah, that's
That's college football GOAT.
Yeah, he's a legend, man.
He owns Powerhouse
Yeah.
with Josh Snow.
Oh, really? Yeah, that's what you're saying.
And Josh does like $200 million a year in recurring.
There's a guy named Nick that works with Josh, or Nick Kirchner. Does that name sound familiar?
I'm way closer with Los than I am with Josh.
There's this kid named Nicholas or Nick This kid, Nicholas Kirchner, but he was running like.
And then, but so like the way they set it up, now they bought a brokerage, like a business brokerage. And so now they're just trying to really like fucking roll up at, you want to sell? We'll buy it. Like we'll fucking roll it up.
That's awesome.
And that's all they're going to do in like their mastermind. Because they have dudes in there doing like 50 million a year in different types of like e-commerce shit.
Yeah, my biggest thing is I just want to get those guys partnerships, and then we give them referral partnerships because we pay out 15% of ARR to the brand.
wow.
So basically, it's like if they sign $1 million contract, like we're paying out. We
Yeah.
have some of our partners making $2 million a year, literally
As an
just-
affiliate, yeah.
All they're doing is just saying, "Hey, Greg," and like we just close it. We have a 98% close rate after 30 days in trial. Like our close rate is insane.
That's wild.
Yeah, like if they finish their trial, the only time they don't close is one if they're too small or price compression, meaning like Attentive's like, hey, here's 9 months free.
Oh. And how small is too small for what you do? That's got to be pretty small, right?
Well, we literally run like anybody who just started.
That's what I'm saying.
All the way to companies who have $1 billion in revenue a year. So like the cool thing about SMS, it's not like I have to be picky or choosy. They just have to be Shopify, BigCommerce, WooCommerce.
Uh-huh.
Like they have to be on the platform, so I basically just attach as a private app on the back end,
Uh-huh.
and then we just run all their SMS. But then we just released our app, our mobile app creator. So if you're familiar with like the brand Ruli, so it's here in Utah. They probably do like 20 million a year.
Really?
Basically, this app, this is our software. So we live stream from Shopify, and we create your store. So if you had an online store, like let's say Stratman, we take all your stuff, and we basically put it into an app, like a native iOS app.
Yeah.
So you pay $0 for us to do that. So we give you a free app.
And so you can send them a text to send them to the app.
Yes.
And they buy.
And then we're basically converting people, right? So it's like, hey, notify me of this like dress.
Yo.
Right? Or if like, hey, I want this cookie, I add to cart, I do checkout, right? It takes me to my Shopify page, checkout.
Yo, that's powerful.
Yeah, so we have about 400 customers with our app out of like 4,000 or so.
Uh-huh.
And so like, yeah, so we have that, and then we have like shipping insurance that we do. It's just a cash cow on top of it.
Yeah.
But we give all free products that encourage usage in Via. And then we pay like our customers out of these free products to be like,
Exactly.
hey, you're getting free push notifications. So you get to take all the money from the push. But we're literally keeping zero. So it's pretty cool.
Bro, that's dope as fuck.
Yeah.
I'm excited for you, dude.
Thanks, dude. I appreciate that. But genuinely, like, if you want to come by the office, you want to do anything, you want to network. I got a brother who's in real estate right now. He does asset syndication. He's down in Austin, Texas.
Oh, that's so.
And so he's been crushing it.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, they've been building for, his father-in-law's owned it for 30 years.
Okay, it's a different game. Yeah.
Yeah. And
Deal
then-
flow's different.
Well, yeah. But he also, like, they do new builds from the ground up, but they do them like around like Apple's campus, Tesla's campus.
Do they build up and sell, or do they build up and
So
hold
they build up
and
hold
refinance?
for about, yeah, and then refinance every 10 years or so. So like for me, it's like I want to do more real estate, but I'm like, my only focus is Via. And
Bro, that's the thing that'll make you the most money.
It's like I want to park more money.
Yeah.
Right. So I just say, hey, Mike, here's 100,000, here's 200,000. I just keep money to him, and
Why don't you send money to Lame with what he's trying to do?
I'm going to. That's what he's just started. So he's like my homie. He was waffling between like, do I stay with Vivian? Do I not? I'm
Bro, I
like,
told
dude,
him fucking get out.
Yeah. Well, now that he's doing it, he sees 10 grand or whatever he's netting a month from his Airbnb
Right.
stuff. He's like, whoa. So now it's like a wake-up call for him. So I think he got the confidence that he needed, and now that he has it, it's game over.
But it's kind of cool because
Exactly.
But yeah, dude, we'll be in touch. We'd love to.
And I want to get you on my podcast for sure.
Dude,
I'll help you grow your brand in whatever way I can.
Dude, same.
You need to scream from the mountaintops about what you're doing.
Dude, done, dude. What do you do outside of, I guess, the work? What's the hobbies?
When I'm here in the wintertime, I snowboard.
Yeah.
What else do I do? Fish.
Yeah, dude.
I mean, play with my son.
Fish?
Yeah.
You like fishing?
I mean, I'm not good, but I fish.
Okay.
I love to fish.
Dude, I'll take you to some like pretty good. You're familiar
Spots.
with like this area? at
No,
all?
bro, I never come up here.
Okay, so the Ogden Valley, they have tiger muskie and pine view.
Yeah, but that thing's fucking scary.
Yeah, they like.
Yeah, those fucking.
Yeah, we'll catch some of those together.
Okay.
Like I'm like basically like a tech redneck is what you could probably call
I
me.
love, bro. I grew up in the country.
My Insta handle is tech redneck. You know? But yeah, I grew up in Pleasant View, like literally the base of the mountain.
Okay.
So,
Wholesaling company. My wholesaling company operates with. Yeah, there's no overhead.
that's it.
So that's my wholesaling company. Then we have our staffing company. Then we have like our social media company. All right, Brody.
Yeah, I will for sure.
Let me know if you have any questions, bro.
Okay, I will.
It's a lot easier than you think.
We'll get together, man.
I will for sure, for sure.
Seriously.
Let me know what you think
Will
about
do,
that
bro.
rolling.
Yeah, dude, I love smoking meat on like.
So what? When did you play at Snow?
If you're ever
14.
Did you play with Parker Prater?
No, Parker came a year after me.
I guess that's right.
He came a year after me. So you know Parker?
Yeah,
Are you from up
I
here?
grew up with him. Yeah.
Okay.
So we played soccer together growing up.
What's your number?
Are you out of here? Yeah. Let me get your number real quick. 1 minute. I'm not
It
done.
was good. I'm gonna head out.
All right.
So yeah, it was good. Hearing from you.
Thank you.
man.
And you flip up here?
It's like my
Here up
jam.
in so,
That's dope.
yeah, up in Idaho, primarily, and then we're looking to expand to more markets this year. So I started here in Utah. I hate the Utah market.
Hey, bro, it's hot. Nobody gets it. This shit's fucking competitive with not that big of a market share.
And so
Thank
that's
you.
why I went to Idaho, because I wanted to kind of try doing things virtually anyway.
Uh-huh.
And so I was like, oh shit, if I just go to Idaho and if I have to go up there, it's a 2-hour drive, you know? And so we kind of been figuring that side out. I just think virtual is the way to go. All in on wholesaling, you know?
Oh, yeah. Are you wholesaling or flipping?
Both.
Both?
Primarily wholesale.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, bro, it's hard down here. I mean, who's the fucking dude? Jason.
Jason Lewis.
Yeah, Jason has it on lock, dude.
Oh yeah,
Jason has it on lock.
Yeah, we're cranking up in Idaho. Like I love that.
Really? That's dope as fuck. What are you primarily doing for marketing?
A lot of Facebook, a lot of cold call. You know Scott Morse?
Yeah, actually, Scott's a really good. He spoke at my mastermind.
Oh really?
Yeah, he's a good friend of
We
mine.
actually just hired his company to take over.
Let me know how it goes.
So.
Did he give you pushback because your addressable market wasn't big enough?
Here or in Idaho?
Idaho.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take off. Hey, it was nice to meet you, dude.
All right, bro. I'll connect you on IG.
Yeah, let's do.
So, yeah, he gave me a little bit of pushback, but kind of talked him into it.
Bro, he's a great guy. He'll take care of you.
So we're gonna try it out for a couple months, see how it goes.
See you, bro. See you in Tampa.
What parts are you guys in?
We just do Central California, then we do some stuff across the Southeast.
Yeah.
But just the hedge funds, and I have a dude out there who has really good connections, and so none of my leads cost me any money, so I just go 50-50. I have a leads manager internally, a staffing company pays for that.
That's what we've been doing with agents. So like I'm having just agents. I'll send them a list, they cold call it, they prospect it, whatever. They say, hey, we got a motivated seller, they put our contracts in, and then we just
Yeah, it's a lot easier.
It's a good model. I mean, it's not a long-term play, but just to roll money into another investment.
Well, that's the thing. So I was talking to him. I was like, I don't do wholesaling is not my main focus because it's not the opportunity vehicle that's going to get me to where I want to go.
Oh, it's just cash.
Yeah, it's a smaller cash cow, right? But if I want to get to $1 billion, because I want to get to $1 billion, I can't do that wholesaling houses.
First off, she brought it.
No. But I mean, it's a good avenue to stack cash and put it other places to grow other businesses. Right? That's my whole take on it.
Oh yeah, but real estate's been fun. You on social at all?
Yeah.
Are you big on social?
No.
Why?
I actually just started do you know Ryan Stewart?
Yeah.
Okay, so I just joined Apex.
How do you like it?
I've been in it a week.
Okay.
So, but he's really big, pushing everything me on social media. So that's kind of why I asked that question earlier. How far do I take social with sharing?
You'll find your own vibe on social. You'll find your own vibe. Fucking do what you see fit. And then if someone pushes you, you need to be louder. You probably need to be louder.
Yeah.
But just for you especially, I'd be posting deal flow. Like, hey, here's one of our flips. Here's one of our flips. Here's one of our flips. If you have any deals, send them to me.
Yeah.
Whatever it is, it'll just increase your deal flow automatically. It'll be free money.
That's one thing that I have not been good at. So I'm over this last week, I've been posting a lot. So.
Do you know Michael Burns?
Yeah.
Okay, I was gonna say I'll connect you with Burns out here too.
Yeah. I think we'll sell that one house.
It's 2 minutes away from my house, but
Mike's a good dude. I saw his Ferrari that he just bought. I think it's sick.
Are you in the Lions Den too?
Yeah. So are you?
No, it's not my cup of tea.
I'm there for the network.
Is it a solid network though?
Yeah, that's where I met Josh. I mean, that's where I met Mike. So I've met a lot of people there, and so yeah, it's good. But I mean, these masterminds, this is what I thrive off of.
Yeah. Without a doubt, bro. My own Lions Den is the eventual goal. Yeah. And he's in the Lions Den. I met him at a Lions Not Sheep event that I went to. So Mark Evans, I'm in his mastermind, and he's a friend of mine. And so we when he flew out, yeah.
Yeah, I was there.
Yeah. So we flew out, and so I came out and hung out with him, and that's where I met him.
Nice. I don't know. This kind of stuff is just fun.
Right? Well, and these two are fucking impressive.
Yeah,
Josh didn't even tell me, bro, you're gonna be talking on the stage, and you got these two savages. Then you got you do business. You do business, and you wanted me to talk about failure.
Yeah. So I met Greg last month at Aaron Wagner's place. Do you know who he is?
Wags?
Wagshop.
Yeah.
So I met Greg down there last month, and we were connected somehow. I mean, we grew up 10 minutes away from each other. We were friends. We followed each other on IG, and I was like, dude, I know you from someplace, but I had no idea where it was. It's because Josh was posting his face all the time for today.
Yeah, I mean they're killing it.
How'd you connect with Josh?
I met him in the Powerhouse Mastermind.
Okay.
It's an e-commerce mastermind.
Yeah.
That's where I met him. And then he came to I had a mastermind where him and Michael Burns spoke at.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. They're buying orders.
Yeah, right. I mean that's the next step.
Yeah. So last I heard that was their like that's what they're working on right now. Just have an all in-house service company.
Yeah. That's the move, unless you start doing like development and syndication.
I've been in the gym since I went with Windbreak in Mexico.
Well, good deal, man. Well, it was good meeting you.
You too, Brody.